Okay, so you're just in time for another eBay antique item unboxing. All right, so for years, I've always wanted to add one of these to my collection, but could never afford to do so. They always go for sky high on eBay. Generally, you think you have it in the pocket, if you know what I mean. And within 10 seconds before the auction ends, these things always go right through the roof. Can never ever win one of these. And I just so happened to get lucky this time. I don't know how or why, but I did. And what did I win it for? I won it for $30. Yes, $30. And it never happens. So I don't know where all the other bidders were. It could have been because it was Christmas Day and everyone was at their relative's house. Okay, so what is it that I've wanted for so long that I could never afford? Now, we don't know what kind of condition this is because the seller's pictures were sort of blurry and fuzzy. You know what I mean? Those type of auctions. And so you're taking a chance. And it could be cleaned up, though. In the pictures, it looked really old and... Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. So what the heck is this? You're going to be like, I don't know what that is. What is she like making a big to-do over? All right. So if you look close, what do you see? Yes, it's actual hair. And these are also known as mourning pins. They used to use hair actually as early as the 1700s, well into around the time of the Victorian era, especially when this got really popular. It was popular before, but it got more popular during the reign of Queen Victoria when her husband Albert died. She actually took a lock of his hair and created a jewelry piece. I believe she placed it in a brooch or in some kind of pocket watch or something like that. And then everybody started doing this again. There was a revival for these pieces. Now, this could be a dead person's hair. I don't like the idea of that, but you got to think of it this way. If I'm not taking it and collecting it, right, and say this is somebody's mother's hair or somebody's sister or daughter or something like that, it's like going to be loved now. It's going to be cherished. It's not going to go into the landfill. So somebody's memory or legacy is not gone. And so what we have here is definitely Victorian, very, very old. Actually, we're going into the 1850s, even earlier than I expected. So we have this tube hinge right here. And over here, if you notice the pin, look how far it juts out past the brooch. Okay, and we also have a C closure. Okay, so we have a C closure. This is telling me that this could be Georgian or it could be Victorian. Most likely 1850s. And actually, I'm going to clean it up and I'll be back. So take a look at it. It's filthy. It's dirty. I'm going to use a little Simicrone and bring this back to the beautiful luster it must have once had. Can I shut this thing off? Wait. Oh, there we go. Okay, so a little Simicrone goes a long way. Now, I couldn't even see through the glass window, and I actually used Simicrone to buff out as many of the scratches as I could. Look how clean the back got, and I think this is gold. It could be unmarked gold. They didn't always mark gold back then. And let's look at it in a different light. Hold on. And okay, I almost stepped on my dog just now. But there we go. So this actually, look how clean that looks. That is just absolutely amazing how much it got, yeah, all the tarnish and dirt and filth. This thing is very, very old. And it's very hard to get out of the glare. So there we go. Let's inspect this closely. So we had this really tight weaved hair going throughout this piece. Now, this doesn't always mean that this was a mourning piece. Believe it or not, sometimes this was actually just hair jewelry. And people would just actually have their hair turned into pieces of jewelry when they were alive as well. But this is most likely a mourning piece. Some of them were engraved with the person's name. Some of them had the year of birth and death on them. This one does not say anything. But this is most definitely probably from the 1850s. And these things are not cheap. You can never find these things for 30 bucks. Oh, I just stabbed myself. Oh my God, ouch, ouch. Yeah, these things are very, very, very hard to actually find for under 100 bucks. Any kind of brooches, especially this size. Look at the size of this in my hand. This is a big, big brooch. I really hit the jackpot that day. Let's see some other designs of these mourning hair jewelry brooches that we can find on our searches. And how much do these things sell for? And I'm thinking, actually, the more I look at this, the more I think this is real gold. I will check it out. Look at that. And by the way, yes, real gold can tarnish. It's not just that it's tarnish. It's just from age. Soot sets in on these things, especially something that's over 150 years old. You will have some blackening because of filth. It's just plain filth. And all it did was need a little cleaning, and you can see how much it's shining. And I believe this could be gold. All right, ow, look at the pin like right into my finger. Ouch, ouch. And yeah, these things, wow, that's insane. Oh, look at that. It's like stuck in my glove. That is insane how they made these pins stick out so far past. Why did they do that? Okay, so I'll explain to you why they did that. So basically, they had the pins jut out past, oh, it's stuck, past the brooch. Let's try to get this out of here. Past the brooch, because the fabrics that they wore back then were so much thicker than, say, the 1900s. Like 1910, 1905, 1900. They had to have pins. Oh, look at that. They had to have pins come out that much further than the brooch in order to tack it to their clothes. All right, so let's check out, ouch. Let's check out some other ones that you'll find and why I actually was doing the happy dance when I won this. Because you'll see these things are not cheap. Okay, so I tested it. It's actually 14 karat gold. So this huge brooch is 14 karat gold. Now I have it here with an antique Victorian pocket watch fob that I attach to a chain. It's not real gold, but this is real gold. I cannot believe it. It is 14K, guys. For 30 bucks. Look at the size of this sucker. Oh my God, I hit the little jackpot. Okay, so let's check out some more of these brooches and find out more about the history of them. Okay, so here are some examples. This one is actually a really good price at $113.24, dated 1810. Now, mine could be actually older than I thought. Let's check out and inspect this 1810 morning brooch. And, oh wow, that's pretty cool. And you can see how far the pin juts past the actual brooch. It's constructed a lot like mine. Mine could be a lot earlier than the 1850s. It's very hard to tell. This one, what kind of gold is it? Does it even say? It says rose gold, but it doesn't say how many carats. Okay, 9 carats. Okay, so mine has 14 carats. So, wow. Oh, wow. And so mine could be Georgian era. And so here's some information. Victorian sentimentality in mourning brooches. Circa 1850, mourning brooch with black enamel, human hair, and pearl. Wow, interesting. And again, here's some different designs, circa 1850. And again, here's that same one. You could see some of them had really beautiful, precious gems attached to it and enameling. Here's a ring, an actual mourning ring. And wow, that's old. That one is 1853. Interesting. And here is, this was Queen Victoria's bracelet. And she had Albert on there. She had, that stands for hope, I believe. Hope and faith. She had the hair right in there. Do you see that? Albert's hair was right in there. She wore it around her wrist. Quite interesting. And here we go with that bracelet again. They had different kinds. You'd find crosses with them, anchors, hearts, stars, and all sorts of different designs. Here's some more mourning jewelry. Some of them made in vulcanite or gutta percha. Enamel. There we go. Oop, and it's moving. That's wild. Okay, we have, wow, look at these. These are black jet. And jet is interesting. So everything, of course, mourning is usually black and dull colored. Now here we go with a smorgasbord of different kinds of mourning brooches you'll find. And all different price ranges. From $165 to $950. All the way to $1,150. And here's another example. And you would never really know that's hair. It's very similar to mine in the weave. $720. Also, they had designs going through there with the hair in curly cues and what have you. You had them in brooches that said in memory or in memoriam. Here we go. Here's some more. Some of them were in lockets. Here's another memory one with the hair inside there. And yet another one, 1860. Here's another one here. And that one's very cool. And here's a 9-carat one. And so these are the different styles you'll find. This one, I seen actually Scarlett O'Hara from the movie Gone with the Wind wearing one similar to this with a curly Q type of hair tendril in her brooch. I was watching the movie again for the 18th time the other night. Here's some more that you might see. Some smaller than others, some larger than others. Some with pearls and gems. And again, here's some designs. You'll see like these little dioramas with the curly cued hair. That's really elaborate. And these are not cheap. It's very hard to find these for cheap. Here's another one, $325. A real ornate one for $750 right here. Some with photos of their loved one. And on the opposite side would be the locks of hair. Really interesting. And we have some more. And more. And so these are not cheap. So I was really lucky to get it at $30. Here's another one. Wow. Look at this one. $1,450. This one, $1,350. $14K. Aha. Mine's $14K. So I guess the higher grade the gold, the more value. What would I value mine at? I'd value it at least $700 or more now that we know that it's $14K. The higher grade the gold, the more it's worth. And here's some other examples. And we'll see very many different styles. A leaf with words, with gems, with gems. Yeah, actually with photos as well. And they're very actually interesting, but very expensive to collect. So let's click on this one just for shits and giggles. This one is dated Napoleon III era, which was between the 1850s and 1870s. And this one, 18-karat gold, being sold for $345. As a matter of fact, now I just lowered the value on mine because this one is that much greater. This one is actually a beauty. How big is it? Actually, it looks teeny tiny. Mine is actually a larger size one. Let's blow that up. Okay, but I'm going to say, okay, on mine, at least $300 to $700. It depends on who wants it bad enough. That one is actually quite gorgeous. Wow. So what did we learn today? Well, Victorian and actually Georgian items look great displayed. And so you can get one of these little display jewelry dummies, place it out with an antique jewelry box on the counter with some antique jewelry and look really cool. And so your friends will come over and they'll be like, oh, what a cool brooch. And then they'll look closely. And then they'll say, well, what is that? Is that horsehair? And you're going to turn around and be like, no, it's human hair. And then they're going to suddenly think you're a serial killer or some weird wacko. And, well, my friends, actually, I don't have any friends. And so that's why I don't have to worry. And so what else did we learn today? We learned that this is older than Victorian. It is actually Georgian. We learned that these pieces were sentimental pieces made in memoriam for people that have passed. We've also learned that this is actually 14-karat gold. Not all of these were marked with the gold value. And we also learned that sometimes every dog gets their day, and you can actually possibly even win one of these if everybody else is asleep, if you know what I mean. And what else did we learn? We learned that I've never had one of these before, and now I do. And I'm so excited about this because this is just an absolute beaut. And thanks for watching. See you guys all soon, and don't bid on these. That's it. I have spoken. If you guys actually like antique things and you're thinking of bidding on one of these, do not. Remember, Deanna needs to find her bargains. So don't become a competitor. Just be a watcher of my channel. And that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys all soon, and so long.